In diesem Video werde ich ein Interview führen mit Peter Tuchman, der hier an der New Yorker Stock Exchange an der Wall Street schon seit über 30 Jahren als Broker arbeitet. Ich bin fast schon ein bisschen aufgeregt. Wir werden jetzt gleich reingehen auf den Trading Floor und Peter wird sehr, sehr interessante Dinge zu erzählen haben, da bin ich mir auf jeden Fall sicher. Ich wünsche euch sehr viel Spaß mit dem Video und bis gleich. Ciao! Peter, thank you so much for having me here.
My pleasure.
For how long have you been working now at Wall Street?
So I have been working here since 1985. That's about 34 years.
Wow. And I'm pretty sure you had a lot of amazing days here at Wall Street and a lot of not so amazing days. But if you recall, what was the most unforgettable experience you had since you work here?
You know, there's a lot. Look, 34 years. So yeah, it's important to know that when you start here, there's no training for this job. That you really need to start in the beginning, at the low end of the job circuit, really, because you can't go to school to become a broker or a clerk or a market maker. You have to come down here. You got to be at the bottom. It's a little different now than it used to be. But I started as a teletypist, the sort of the beginning job. Some people started as what you call runners, and slowly it used to take 10, 15 years to become a broker. I did it in 2 or 3 years. I was good at what I did, and I loved the atmosphere and the chaos. The day, look, I have in 34 years, I've had a lot of really great days, really bad days. I think the most notable, so I started in 85, 1987, we had the crash of 1987, probably the largest percentage loss in history, probably relative to the depression crash of 1929. So I think we lost 660 points when the market was a lot lower. So percentage-wise, it was a big deal. And for me, I was a clerk. I was a phone clerk. I actually worked right over there, right under the podium. And that was a huge day. I mean, stocks were down 10, 20, 30%. You know, people were jumping out of windows. It was the most significant sell-off. It really felt like the world was coming to an end, right? So, and I was new here. I'd only been here for 2 years. So to see that kind of fear and anxiety and madness and chaos and screaming and yelling was amazing.
I'm pretty sure you can still remember that pretty well.
I do actually remember it. I remember it well. There are a few people here, not that many who are here now today. We're here around. This nice man was here. He worked right next to me in 1987, so he was here for that. But so after that, you know, it's hard to know. I mean, the 90s were, you know, look, this place was incredibly busy in the 90s. I don't remember what the economy was like at the time, but we had 4 or 5 rooms like this beautiful big room you're seeing here, built in 1903. This is the main room of the stock exchange. We used to have a room called the garage. There was a blue room, expanded blue room. There were 5 rooms. There was probably 6,000 to 7,000 people here. So every day was a super exciting day, right? There was a lot of chaos, a lot of screaming, a lot of excitement. The greatest job on earth, really fun interacting with people. I think then we had, of course, 9/11 was a huge day for us here. We came to work, the buildings had been attacked already, and we all got locked in here, and we were evacuated by the police, and so that was sort of one of the most devastating days. We lost a number of people who worked here that day in the Trade Center, because the Trade Center literally is 2 or 3 blocks away.
Almost,
So we got evacuated from here, and at 11:30 in the morning, and it was pitch black, and it was ash like this. It was a devastating day. So, and then look, we've had economically, financially wise, we've had days like Brexit. The day that Brexit was announced, the market was down 1,000 points. That was a big deal. We sold off very hard, a lot of excitement, a lot of fear, anxiety, and then it came back. Then there was obviously the day Trump was elected, which was another crazy day. Overnight was down 1,000 points, and the market rallied back. We've had days of, like, you know, North Korea. We've had days of the Iraqi war. You know, so you tend to see that market in this world, in this day and age right now, with the internet, with social media and whatnot. You know, we are headline driven. Stocks are driven by earnings, by guidance, by news, by headlines, globally, domestically, and whatnot. So in this crazy world where we get information all the time,
in the middle of
we're in the middle of,
yeah,
look, we are this is the information highway, right? So at any given moment, you're going to see a market go up and down hundreds of points on news, on headlines, on tweets, on social media stuff. So, you know, for me, every day is an incredibly exciting day. You don't know what you're going to get.
And what is it exactly that you do every day as a broker here?
Okay, so.
Like, do you have a typical day? Like, you come
here
in the morning?
My days are exactly the same all the time. So what we do is, so you get up in the morning and you do a little bit of research, you know, about what's happening overnight, economically, globally, you know, as far as headlines go, okay? Politics doesn't really play a big factor in it, but depending on what the markets did overnight, it's sort of important, whether anything has happened in different countries, whatever happened with oil, with gold, these are important things. Headlines, announcements made by companies, earnings, guidance, and whatnot. So you do a little bit of homework before you come in the morning. You get a sense where because right now, markets trade 24 hours a day. Okay? Our market even is open, even though the stock exchange isn't open all night. There are trading platforms. I'm using this abstract, right? There are trading platforms that trade all around 24 hours. But also when we're done trading, you know, Europe closes at 11, Asia trades, and then it all comes back around. So it's important to know what happened overnight from our market. So then I come into work at 9 o'clock, okay? And then you come down here, and what I do, so I'm a trader. I trade my company's customers. I'm here to add some kind of an edge to give my customers. So what happens here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange is the most significant market in the world. We may not do as much volume as we used to do, but where stocks open and how stocks trade here in this room on every given day will affect how things go forward. Just because historically it's the New York Stock Exchange, and to this day still the most significant market. So then the market opens at 9:30. Before 9:30 you come in, you get looks in stocks, which means where are stocks going to open? Stocks open at a price as a function of supply and demand. People want to buy stocks more because earnings were out, news was out, Nike released a new sneaker, you know, North Korea attacked somebody. I mean, whatever the company is, right? If it's a defense company because of something global that happened, if it's a retailer because something else happened, is it a shoe company because they released something? Is there an endorsement? Is there good news or bad news? People want to buy the stock, okay? People want to buy the stock. Well, depending how much they want to buy, they will find a level where someone wants to sell it. And that's the price, supply and demand auction market. So we give our customers an idea of where the stocks are going to open in New York. That's the edge I offer them. And then you can actually be trading individual stocks. You can be trading the market. There are these financial instruments that basically track the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And so you get a sense of where the market's going to open. We may have IPOs, initial public offerings, new stocks that are going public. Tomorrow, Lyft is going, not here, but it's happening on the other exchanges. We had Levi's, the jean company, went public last week. So on any given day, we're going to have a lot of stuff happening here in the morning. So at 9:30, the market opens with a bang. Somebody rings the bell, whether it's a company, a CEO, a celebrity, whatever it is, a head of state, president, premier, prime minister, somebody opens the market. After the market opens, then you're basically in this world of algorithms and electronic marketplaces and computer trading. Once the market opens and once things settle down, then the market kind of runs on automatic pilot for a little while. Basically, people will put their orders in an algorithm and it will run for a couple of hours on its own. And then around 1 o'clock, we start gearing up. So anything can happen. If you look at the market here today, the market opened, it rallied up, and then sold off very hard, and now it's rallying back up.
Where it started almost.
All right, so there's a lot that goes into that, what happened here. So the market today is trading because of what's happening in yields, what's happening in financial stocks, what's happening in retailers. There's a lot of news that came out, and then the market kind of got tired. Retailers and financials rolled over, market sold off. So in any given day, Johnny, be nice.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay, good. So anyway,
In any given day, there's always a lot of things going on.
there's a lot going on. So when orders go into algorithms and the trading, it's sort of like flying a plane. So an algorithm can only do as much as we've trained it to do, and it also it can't often react as quickly to crazy volatile moves in the market.
Okay.
So you're always keeping an eye that if the market's running steady, an algorithm's fine. It can be a volume-generated algorithm, a time-generated algorithm, but when this plane that we're flying in reaches some turbulence, sometimes we have to take it off automatic pilot and we have to fly it. So at any given time during the day, you really need to be watching what's going on. Different stocks will react differently to what's happening. Then around 1 o'clock, then we start gearing up for the close. People have an interest to buy stocks on the closing bell auction. So for me, what I do is one of the business models that I've built with my customers is to start trading the market at 1:30 into the close. So I'm trying to make a judgment on what's going to happen from 1:30 to 4 o'clock and where it's going to end. So we start getting into stocks, buying stocks, shorting stocks from 2 o'clock to 3:45. At 3:45, then things are issued out to the public of what's going to happen on the closing auction, and the market closes.
All right.
That's my day.
That sounds so...
It's super exciting.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you know a lot of people on Wall Street since you've been there for so long. What are one or two things most of those guys have in common? Like characteristic strikes?
So, well, look, to be a broker here, so this job is a little different than most jobs. There are people who work in the finance industry who come in to work in the morning. They have a morning meeting. They sit and they read the newspaper. Then they go into their desk and they sit there and they're looking at numbers and they're analyzing stocks and they're looking at earnings. That's a different kind of a job.
Okay.
That's an upstairs job. This is called the street, right? Wall Street, but it's also called the street. This is sort of the characteristics that make a good broker are not the same characteristics that make a investment banker or a trader upstairs whose whole psyche and their personality and their characteristics are different.
Okay.
People who trade on the floor are people who are traditionally think quick on their feet, are really good with people, are great with numbers, and who are good poker players, right? So if I'm trading in a crowd and I'm representing my customer who wants to buy stock and sell stock, and you are the other side of the trade, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a game in a way. You know, you're trading. I want to buy the stock for the best price for my guys.
So you don't want the other guys buy it too, because then the
they don't want. I don't want them to buy it, and the person who's selling it, I don't want them to know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to read people well. You need to be able to thrive on chaotic and exciting situations. You need to think quick on your feet.
Yeah.
So those are the different characteristics.
Okay. And what advice would you give to young students who wish to pursue a career here at Wall Street or in finance in general?
So it's a super exciting industry. I recommend it highly. My son works here with me, and so I find it super exciting. Unfortunately, Johnny is such a nut. Okay, so it's different than it used to be. There used to be a lot of job opportunities here on the floor, trading in the auction market. Now, because of the electronics, I can do now what it used to take 50 people to do. Yeah. So in that way, the business is different. Finance per se is super exciting. Yeah. Investment banking is exciting. Being a portfolio manager upstairs. So finance in general is really exciting. With the information highway, with stocks being listed, with the whole industry itself is super exciting. My gut is to go to school and get a really good degree, undergraduate, maybe perhaps get a master's in business, learn your numbers right, avail yourself of all the information possible, and try and find something you really love to do. There is, within the finance industry, there should be something that excites you.
And there's so many different jobs in the finance industry.
There's so many different jobs. Yeah. Unfortunately, this right now is not really one of the options. But for me, this is not really a job. I love coming here, right? It's super exciting. I like people. I like to interact with people. I like chaos. I like numbers. I love the information. I love to analyze. information and people and their looks on their face, right? So for me, the most important thing is avail yourself of all the information possible. Try and find, you know, a lot of these large finance companies will give you the opportunity to visit and to spend time in each of the different departments.
Okay.
Find something that you love to do.
And
Find
then
something
you'll be
that
good at it.
exciting,
Yeah.
okay? And then go on and become good at it. So that when you wake up in the morning, you really want to go to work. That's the most important thing.
Thank you so much, Peter.
My pleasure.
It was a great honor being here with you.
My pleasure.
And see you.
Okay, bye guys.
So, ich hoffe, das Interview hat euch gefallen. Ich fand es mega cool, da gerade drin mit Peter in der New York Stock Exchange. Die Atmosphäre ist wirklich unglaublich. Ein großes Dankeschön geht nochmal raus an Manuel Koch von Inside Wirtschaft. Manuel hat mir nämlich den Peter quasi so ein bisschen vermittelt. Von dem her, schaut auf jeden Fall mal bei Manuel Koch vorbei. Die Social Media Kanäle von ihm verlinke ich euch unten in der Beschreibung. Falls ihr das Interview cool fandet, freue ich mich sehr, wenn ihr mir einen Daumen hoch gebt, euer Feedback in die Kommentare schreibt und natürlich meinen Kanal abonniert. Wir sehen uns im nächsten Video. Bis dahin, viele Grüße, euer Bewerbungscoach David.